Amy finds out how we can reduce the amount of meat we waste.
The reason we're here today is to help the people of Cardiff to reduce the amount of meat that's going to waste at the moment. A lot of work has been done already, but there's still a lot to be done. Statistics that we have on file say that around £260 million worth of beef goes to waste in the UK every year, and that's from households alone, which actually equates to around 300 million beef burgers. So we're here to help people with tools, tips and advice on how they can reduce the amount of meat that's going to waste at home, thereby saving them money. We did a recent poll with just over 300 people from Cardiff that told us some really interesting information that's led us to want to do this event here today. One of which is that around 83% of people told us they have leftovers after their Sunday roast dinners, and we've got some recipes on our website at wales.lovefoodhatewaste.com on how people can use that leftover meat and vegetables. A lot of people actually don't think that they're wasting meat, and then it's only when you probe a little bit further you realise that they really are, and that can be anything from not planning your meals correctly. So a lot of people might see a bargain piece of meat, think it's a good deal, then they go home and they haven't planned to use it, and then they don't store it correctly or freeze it maybe within time, and then it goes to waste. Or people not calculating their portions correctly, so they end up with leftovers and then aren't necessarily using those leftovers. Some of the tips today is around planning the meals. So we've got some list makers here today to help people actually go about writing a shopping list. They can take what we call a shelfie, which is a photograph before you go shopping of what's in your fridge, your freezer, your store cupboards, so that you know what it is you're actually missing, because so many people have told us that they go out, they buy new bits and bobs that they think they need to create a dinner and then realise they actually had some after all. If people haven't been able to come down and speak with us today, if they go to wales.lovefoodhatewaste.com, they can receive more tools and tips. We've also got a very good recipe bank online that people can search by foods to find out either if they've got leftovers that they want to then use again, or they've just got food that in their cupboard they're looking to use up. We've got a lot of resources online, and we've also got information available in Welsh if you go to hoffibwyd-casai-gwastraff.com.
We specialise in American barbecue, and one of the cuts pertaining to American barbecue is brisket. Brisket is this part of the cow. It's one of the cheapest cuts that you can make. Smoking meat slow and low would have been one of the original ways to preserve meat to make it last longer. You know, beef brisket is one of those almost forgotten cuts of meat that maybe your grandmother or your great-grandmother would have cooked ages ago. You don't need a smoker to cook brisket. You could cook it in a slow cooker, you could cook it in an oven. I think it's about educating people, because I think if you just bought a piece of brisket and you didn't treat it right, it's going to be quite tough and quite chewy. So you need to add time and attention and care over a long period of time. You put a brisket in your cooker or your oven for maybe 120 degrees for 8 hours, it's literally going to be falling apart.